Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1Mby1M Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1Mby1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. In support of that mission, we do these roundtables, these free mentoring roundtables, week after week after week, every week. This is our 502nd roundtable. Some of you may have attended recently our 500th session. It's been a very interesting experience of mentoring entrepreneurs from all over the world for so long. We started back in 2008 fall with just an experiment, and then it kind of became a fixture in the entrepreneurship ecosystem of the world. Over 150,000 people have participated in these sessions, and we have had an opportunity to work with an incredibly diverse body of entrepreneurs from very different geographies, working on very different projects, and it's really been fascinating, and 502 sessions is no small feat. Every single recording of our sessions are available on our YouTube channel, 1M1M Roundtables. So if you are interested in listening to them, you can find them all there, and this one will also go over there. On Twitter, we're at 1M1M, and that's Romana. And our hashtag today, if you're live tweeting today, is hashtag 1M1M. We are going to actually, we are supposed to have a guest today to start the session with, but WebEx has released an upgrade, and that upgrade is not going well. So a lot of people in our session are having difficulty joining. I had difficulty joining a private roundtable, and we are suspecting that people are having difficulty today. So we're not quite sure what is going on the technical side, but we're working through all that. So we hope to have Roman join us today. But in the meantime, while we are waiting for Roman to join us, we are going to go ahead and go to the entrepreneur pitch section. So these sessions, if you haven't been here before, are split into, usually there's a guest, and most of the session is entrepreneur pitches. So I'm going to start today with an entrepreneur pitch, just to set expectations, whether it's you who's going to be speaking, who's going to be pitching today, or you are recommending the program to somebody, or you're planning to pitch at one of our upcoming sessions. I just want you to know that we are completely on your side. This is a safe working session. We're going to brainstorm about your strategy. I will give you whatever feedback I think is appropriate, and based on that, I'm going to try to, give you pointers on how to remove your roadblocks, accelerate your journey, and so forth. That's the only agenda here. We have no other agenda. We're not trying to entertain people. We are really trying to help you, remove your roadblocks. So we'll start with entrepreneur pitches today. By the way, it is a roundtable, not a broadcast. So you are welcome to weigh in. On the public chat, you can participate the whole time. Set your public chat to send to everyone. And I will also open up the line for Q&A a little bit later after we are done with the scheduled programming. If you disagree with the feedback you get from me today, that's okay. It's your venture. Just take the feedback and think about it. My goal is to give you pointers and give you material to think about. And as long as you think about it and make your decisions addressing those issues, that's fine. Remember one thing, not all businesses can raise money, not all businesses should raise money, and raising money doesn't guarantee success. So don't, nosedive into raising money. That's not necessarily the brightest strategy that you could possibly have in shepherding your entrepreneurship venture. We're going to start with Aditya Vikram from New Delhi, India. Aditya, would you please unmute your line and tell us what's going on? What are you working on?
Yes. Hi, Sramana. Thanks for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here. This is the first time I'm taking a virtual roundtable event, and so far I think experience is good, and I think it's going to be excellent.
All right, let's listen to what you're doing.
Right. So I would like to introduce myself as the founder and CEO of MysteryMonks. We are working on building an online video production aggregator.
Okay.
Next slide. The purpose of the company is to offer quality video production and animation services at affordability. Next slide. So there are a lot of problems that companies are facing to get videos made. Topmost problem is that the videos are too expensive. Cheaper videos are not good quality. So there is currently no destination which is offering videos for cheap and also good quality. There is no standard of quality if you are working with small vendors and agencies. Sometimes videos are too expensive. At many vendors, there's no project manager or a single point of contact. It's impossible for a vendor to have diversity of skills. A lot of times there's no quality check before delivery. Companies, small companies, marketing companies, vendors, they don't have a refund policy. Sometimes if things are not going well, they become unreliable and there's unprofessional communication. Then on the other side, we have freelance creators. They're facing problems like not getting paid, finding new clients, consistent work, communication, handling both creative and business aspects. Business aspects are invoicing, payments, proposal, handling difficult clients and vague requests. Next slide. The solution to this is an online platform that offers cheap and quality video production to brands through collaboration of project producers, freelance project producers, and freelance creators. Freelance project producers are basically project managers, but they are more in the creative side of it. Next slide.
Aditya, you want to do kind of an Upwork kind of marketplace for video production?
No, so Upwork is a marketplace. Whereas, so if we go on to the next slides, I think you will have a better clarity.
Sure.
How does it work? Contains two parts, sales and production. Sales, we have two channels. One is the website sales, where a customer would visit the website, find a fixed package, buy it directly from there, or a custom project where they send us the requirement. Our sales team will come up with a package or a solution for them, and that's how they close. Next slide. Video production. So we have two key partners. One are freelance project producers, and one are freelance creators, which are script writers, animators, designers, voice artists, and so on. So upon a confirmed order, a relevant project producer is selected, and 30% of the order amount is allocated to them to hire and pay creators from our talent pool. Once a project producer is selected, they'll plan out budget for every single stage, because for a video production, there are multiple people involved, content writers, animators, voice artists, editors, and so on. So they will draft budget for every stage. They will find suitable creators from our pool, hire them, and get work done by them. So they are going to manage the entire production. Once the video is ready, or let's say a script or voiceover is ready, they're going to review it internally, If the quality is good, they're going to send it to the client. Otherwise, they'll send it back to the production, back to the creator to make the revisions.
Okay.
Next slide. So in principle, we are sourcing talent from marketplaces and job portals, organizing them with our processes to deliver value. Next slide. Why an aggregator over a marketplace? So that we can offer standard price and quality. We will set the standards for quality, and we will set a price which is comfortable for everyone to buy. Customer experience. So every client that we have has an account manager, which is basically the salesperson, and a project producer who keeps a check on quality and the timelines. So unlike in marketplaces where you are directly talking to creators, here you will have a project producer who will do everything for you. That's your single point of contact. We ensure error-free delivery. So anything that goes out to a client, it's either perfect or near perfect.
Yeah.
We are scalable and technology driven. We use a lot of proofing softwares and proofing review softwares. They help us get faster, easy, and dependable feedback. This also makes things easy for the client. Our creators are verified and tested. All those creators which are in our pool, they go through documentation, non-disclosures, submit their government ID proof, and they also go through a test before we start working with them. Our creators are very diverse and affordable. So we are hiring from growing economies like India, Ukraine, Egypt, Pakistan, Armenia, Bangladesh. That's how we are keeping our costs extremely low. And these countries, they have excellent designers, excellent creators. Since we are online, so we have a lot of creators. That's how we have a huge diversity there, rather than having a small fixed in-house team where talent is limited. Next slide. We think that US is the most mature market for video production. Not just mature, even in terms of revenue, US has the highest compared to other countries. So US is followed by China, Europe, and France. So we think that targeting US corporates and startups in US will be the best idea. Next slide. The video advertising agency industry has grown significantly over the time, and it is just growing. Every platform is promoting videos, be it YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Everyone is going video first. So the industry has grown from 45 billion to 61 billion, expected to grow to 61 billion by 21. A lot of companies have started incorporating videos in their marketing strategy. Next slide. Our direct competitor is 90 seconds because they are doing something very similar to what we do. They also have freelance project producers, also a pool of their in-house project producers. So 90 seconds is majorly doing video shoots all across the world, hiring freelance creators. What we are doing is specific to marketing videos, animations, something which does not require a video shoot. Then there are marketplaces like Fiverr and Upwork, where you find talent, hire them, work with them, hourly basis, fixed price basis, and so on. Next slide. So our biggest entry barrier is going to be creators and customer loyalty. So when we hire creators from marketplaces, we hear a lot of complaints why they are not happy working at a marketplace, because these marketplaces, they are majorly customer centric, and whenever there's an issue or anything, things generally close in customers' favor. But here at MysteryMonks, with our process, the scope of errors is less because everything gets reviewed by a project producer internally. And that also increases satisfaction of creators. I mean, imagine yourself a client who's a layman about videos, working with a freelancer versus a project producer who knows everything about videos, the process. They are talking to creators. So that makes a lot of difference. On marketplaces, you directly go and talk to the creators.
Yeah.
Our talent pool of verified and vetted creators, our low pricing, and our technology infrastructure. Our technology infrastructure is going to be basically the software to manage freelancers and our delivery proofing technology. That's something we are going to build, which is not there yet. So this is our entire breakup of the business in terms of numbers. 30% is the production cost of an order. 10% at 10% of the invoice amount is given to the project producers. So these project producers are very qualified people with 8-10 years of experience, and they are very happy working at 10% of the order amount, managing the order for 10% of the invoice. 20% is our current advertising cost, 10% sales salaries, 5% operation costs. Our net margins are 25%, but if it's a returning client, advertising cost goes zero and the margins come to 45%.
So have you figured out how you are going to acquire customers?
So the easiest way is through advertising. We are already acquiring customers through ads.
Where? Ads where?
Google ads. We are currently advertising on Google only because right now we do not have budget to experiment on other platforms. Google ads is working for us.
And for Google ads, you're targeting American customers?
Currently, we are advertising majorly in India, and we are running some experiments in US as well. So the cost for advertising is extremely high, considering our current revenue and margin.
This question is Google search ads for US is very expensive. So how are you managing that?
Right. So we don't have a lot of money with us so that we can spend enough and do testing. What we do is we run campaigns in US, get some leads, close them, and from the money that we earn there, we invest more. So it's not a very major experiment right now. Majorly, we are advertising in India only, and we are generating 200 leads, 200 to 250 leads in India from campaigns each month.
Well, and you can also look at one other, trend, which is India has the back end of many startup companies who are doing this kind of work, all the creative work, marketing work from India. So if you advertise in India, you may be able to get to that, even if it's a US company or it's primarily selling in the US, but they're still doing all the production work in India. So by advertising in India through Google, you may be able to get to that traffic.
Yeah, that is right. So in India, we get a lot of startups also, and then some good companies as well. So like recently we did for Kimberly. Then we are working with another analytics company which has their main and major headquarters in US, but they have a team in India. So yeah, we are getting some clients through that, but the quantity, the number of clients is very less. Majorly during these times, especially after COVID, when people have cut down on their marketing budgets, we are getting startups only who are their ticket size are low. They are buying only low price packages. So that's what's happening right now. Right. So we worked on a financial projection, which is still work in progress. And as per our financial projection, if we raise $200,000 and spend it on acquisition of creators, freelance management software licensing. So there is already a software there in market which we can license to manage our talent pool, do the project management and everything. So if we raise $200,000, spend it on creators acquisition, licensing costs of the software, sales and advertising, we should be able to achieve a quarterly revenue of 1 million by March 2022.
Aditya, this is not a fundable business at this point. This is not the kind of business that investors are looking to fund. This needs to be built as a bootstrap business. So my take is that if you keep your acquisition costs down, this slide that you're showing with 20% advertising cost, by advertising in places where Google advertising costs are low still, including India and including other places where advertising costs are still low, maybe start with India because India does have all these back ends of American companies. So in effect, you're getting American clients, but you're getting them through their India operations. I think you're going to need to build up. It may be slower, but you're going to have to do this bootstrapped. There's no way you'll be able to finance this company right now, except from friends and family. The only kind of funding you can get is friends and family. But professional investors are not going to fund this.
Okay.
So keep going bootstrapped. I think I actually buy into what you're saying you want to do. The only question mark I have is if you are trying to do voiceovers, what about the accent? The American accent is going to be an issue. But other than that, I know that in India you get very good voiceover artists, who have neutral accents, and if your clients are willing to accept that, that's fine. You're going to have to check.
So we have voiceover. We have American voice actors, British voice actors, and in fact, Indian voice actors sell less compared to American and British.
Yeah, but they charge more too, right?
No, not really. It's like we are getting them for $7 per 30 seconds.
I see. Okay. All right. So there you go. If you can address this, I would say try to really deeply understand what it takes to acquire these startups in India for their work. These are, startups that have that actually are facing American market-facing startups that have their backends in India. Try to figure out what Google search is, search advertising, how to optimize your Google search advertising to get to that audience, and that might just work.
Right. So I wanted to ask one question. So let's say we have a platform in place already, which is our backend talent pool, management software. Do you think that will be a good time to think of a fundraiser?
It depends on what kind of scalability you can show in this. If you can show something that is scaling really fast and scaling on the basis of technology and not just people, then it would work. And I think at the moment that thesis is not proven, that this thing can scale fast. And there are technology levers based on which it's going to scale fast and not completely dependent on people. That's the investment thesis that needs to be validated, and that's not validated yet.
Okay. So
right?
when you, I have another question. Like you said that if there's a technology which can scale up without people, so basically we have the platform and we have creators coming up, joining us. Do you think that's sufficient, or will it mostly depend on the number of customers that we'll have?
All of it. You're still while you're providing an aggregator model, it's still kind of a marketplace. You need, you show that in your slide here. need about 1,000 people, 1,000 creators. 65 project producers, 1,000 creators to deliver order of 10 crores. 3,500 orders. So, if you have to build like $100 million business, how many producers? You need probably 6,500 producers. You need, 1 million creators. If you have to hand recruit each one of these people and there is no way of them finding you and joining you organically in a scalable way, then this doesn't have the kind of scalability parameters that are required by investors.
Okay, so the parameter would be that these people find us just like people find marketplaces, join us.
Yeah.
That will make more sense.
And the same with the customers. In the beauty of the marketplace model is that both customers and sellers, buyers and sellers are finding the marketplace by themselves, joining the marketplace and starting to transact. You're not going and, of course you have to seed the marketplace, which is what you're doing right now, but somehow you need a process through which these people come and join. How do you go from 65 project producers to 6,500 project producers? How do you go from 1,000 creators to 1 million creators? All these strategies need to be worked out. And they have to be somewhat automated strategies, not hand-picked and hand-recruited strategies.
Okay.
And the same thing you have to show, if Google advertising is your strategy for acquiring customers, you need to show that, okay, this is how much I spend in acquiring a customer, this is how much the customer lifetime value is, and at some point, this may actually be fundable. If you have shown that you have enough customers with a significant customer lifetime value because they become repeat customers over a period of time, and your Google advertising campaign is able to figure out how to get these people and get enough of them so that you have repeatable business and you have a fast growth business that's coming out of this, then it will become fundable. At the moment, all these are question marks. So at the minimum, you're going to have to show strategy on how you're going to get to these numbers. The bigger problem here, I think, is actually getting the supply side and then getting the demand side cost effectively, recruiting the demand side cost effectively. Those are the questions that investors would ask you. You also have a question from Nitin Bajaj. He says, hi Aditya, love the company name. I love the company name as well, actually, Nitin. Question, and good to see you, Nitin. I've seen you here a few times, so it's great to see you. Question, you mentioned cost as an advantage strength. A 30-second whiteboard animation video is listed for INR 8.5K to 12.5K. We constantly see ads for the same work at INR 600. Do you want to take the question, Aditya?
Yeah, definitely. So, you will see some very low price ads as well, but the thing is that are they able to deliver? Have you tried those 600 rupees vendors? You will also see ads which are $3,000, $1,000. But the important thing is that the price should be such that a company is able to deliver, or the quality is up to the mark, because these 600 vendors, these are basically new freelancers or new people, again, who don't really know how to work with a client, the communication, the reliability is not there, and so on.
All right. Okay, so we are going to move on. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover?
I think that would be all. It was really good feedback, and I'm going to think on it, discuss along with my team.
Think about it. Great. Good luck, Aditya. Sabeer Nelli, you're next.
All right. Yes, I'm ready. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, now we are based in a small city called Tyler, Texas.
Okay.
We are a small startup, especially for the payment industry. And we are converting paper checks, which is a 14 billion number of paper checks right in the US, to the digital checks, and we are converting the traditional ACH to the real-time payment. That is our business model. And our targeted customer is a small business across the country. According to the SMB Small Business SBA, there is a 32 million underserved small business in the country. That is what we are concentrating. But our competitor like a Bill.com and all, mainly targeting for the middle and high-end business.
So you are competing with Bill.com?
Yes, we are a Bill.com, Avid Exchange, Melio, Payments, and there is few, there are, this kind of companies are direct competitors.
Do you have anything started already, or is it a concept stage venture?
No, we already started. We have 125,000 customers across the country. And we have 40, 50 US government entities also, cities and counties, and some federal department also our customer. And we have all kind of customer, including the city of Los Angeles department is our customer, and we have a Coca-Cola entire unit in Florida is our customer.
Very good. And so what is your business model?
What one looks, madam?
What is your business model?
Business model is, what do you mean by that?
How do you make money? What are your customers paying you to do this?
Business model is subscription based, and that is actually our great success. We don't charge any transaction fee like a Bill.com company charge per transaction 50 cents. In a deluxe e-check charge, electronic checks called 45 cents, and we charge unlimited checks, but we charge subscription fee starting from $50 per year to $12,000 per year. Depends upon their requirement, API, that and this and all kind of stuff.
And of these 125K customers, are they all paying customers?
Not all of them. We are actually targeting to 1 million customer, which we are expecting within another 1 year, because the first year 15 months were harder. It took us we are okay now. We still this month we will be having more than 10,000 customers. Last time we got 9,500. So after 1 million only we gonna start throttling the customer. Now we are not throttling. Whoever paying voluntarily, they are paying. But still last month we have a revenue of close to $600,000. So this year we will be expecting 5 million revenue. And the first year we have a $250,000 revenue, and next year we are looking towards the 15 to 20 million revenue.
Fantastic. So the 5 million revenue that you're expecting this year is from how many customers?
Around under 4,000 customers. They are the paying customers.
So 4,000 out of the 125K are paying customers. And,
right.
And every year you're increasing the number of paying customers because their free trials are getting over.
We don't throttle them yet. For example, we advertise that 5 payments or pay or get paid free anyway per month. And we have a small business, they may do like a 20, 30 payments, like a small restaurant, this kind of people, mom and pop. And we don't still throttle them. We tell them use it, because actually they are creating customer for us. They send a payment to another small business, another vendor, and most likely we have seen 60% of them will try us and become our customer. So we let them use it and let them bring the customer, just like a Zoom.com, giving them 40 minutes free. We don't want to be like a GoToMeeting.com, only revenue oriented, and get the branding. We have to keep the online CheckWriter branding. We are okay now. There is no city in the US without having our customer.
Okay.
So we are pretty much number one in the electronic checks already within 15, 16 months. And we are going to be the stripe of the electronic checks in the country.
So I'm actually, the question is, why are you here? What are you here for?
Why we are here? Why we are here? Yeah, we are looking for institutional customer. So we need your guidance for that. We have only small business, even though we have a few institutional customer, but we want to target more into high-end corporate customer. So we need guidance or influence, or we want you to join with the next upcoming unicorn.
I see.
So we already have a term sheet of 300 million on the table. We haven't signed up yet, and we have several talking with the daily investor meeting. But we want you to be.
You have a term sheet of 300 million on the table.
Right.
300 million for an acquisition.
No, for investment. So we want your guidance, and we want to eventually go to neighboring countries like Canada and South America, Europe, and eventually to India, where I am from.
And where what is the investment source? Who wants to invest 300 million in your company?
That is based in an investor company in Dallas, Texas. They have some overseas Swiss and Japan funding sources. I don't know exactly.
What is your projection for 2021 revenue? I'm just trying to assess what is the investor thinking.
We are projecting 15 to 20 million according to the current group. Yeah.
So isn't 300 million too much money to take at this stage? Why do you want to take so much money?
It is, but this investor is thinking we are getting like a 300 to 400 new registration daily basis, and he is more aggressive than us. And we have a few investors watching us, and every night, every day, we send them a text message, today's status, how many registration we got, how many people paying and all. So he is more aggressive. We are actually looking only for 10 to 20 million dollars for our next 14 months.
I would not raise 300 million. If I were you, if I were running this company, I would not raise $300 million. I would turn down that term sheet. I would just take a small amount of money. You don't need that kind of money. You have built a company. I take it you're bootstrapped up to this point, yeah?
That's true. Everything is bootstrapped by our another company called the Tyler Petroleum. And now that's the problem. We don't want to dilute so much of our share, but
you don't need to dilute your share. You can definitely raise money from from institutional investors. If that's what you're needing, you need help with on guidance on funding and how to get this funded from whom, etc. We can definitely help you. That's no problem.
Yeah, great. Actually, we are not really after investment. We have enough revenue now and a profitable company. If investment come in our terms, we are okay to welcome. And we are not really, it's okay, to have investment and to grow faster, but that is
not
what
only
we are
that. If I were you, I would probably not take investment, because the numbers that you're quoting, you're doing 5 million this year and you're going to do 15 to 20 million next year. Without investment, what do you need investment for? Why give up autonomy?
No, it is the business style, because we don't want to be like a Zoho.com. We like to be like a Salesforce. He did not take no much investment, and he's still worth only $2 billion, right? And the Zoho got the the Salesforce got investment, and the founder had a 6% share, but still the company is worth 140, 150 billion, and the founder worth 6-7 billion. So we want to massively grow it. We can invest in our own way, but only few millions. So when we go wide open, we can be next Zillow. The money payment.
So that's the question. The point you're making. Salesforce.com did not become successful to that extent just because they raised money. If you look at the trajectory of when Salesforce.com happened versus when Zoho happened, Zoho copied Salesforce.com and built a business that undercut the pricing of Salesforce.com and offered something to the small business market. It's kind of what you're doing to Bill.com, is you're taking Bill.com's model, undercutting the pricing and offering it to the smaller businesses. So Zoho did exactly that to Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com had to build the market. Salesforce had to convince the market that it was okay to do cloud computing. It was okay to do subscription revenue on software. It's a very different degree of challenge and different degree of market building that Salesforce had to do. You don't have to do any of that. So I think you're equating success to fundraising.
Look
at companies. No, hold on. Let me finish. Look, for you, the companies that you should study are companies like Atlassian. Atlassian is a $44 billion company out of Australia. This company was bootstrapped until the very end. I think they raised some money and went public. Atlassian is a good model for you, where you decide you can raise money anytime. Given where you are right now, I can raise money for you, no problem. That's not the issue. The issue is, what are you going to use that money for, and what levers does it offer you? Does funding offer you levers to grow? So your challenge right now is more a strategy challenge, less a funding challenge. You can fund this company, no problem. Okay.
Oh, yeah, but now we need institutional customer, right? More upper hand registration. That is what we are.
Maybe not. Yes and no. It sounds like, given the numbers you're quoting, this strategy is working for you. The strategy that you're using is working for you, and if you go from 5 million to 20 million, 15, 20 million in 1 year, you're outpacing venture scale growth. So your assumption that you need institutional customers, large customers, which is going to go directly into Bill.com's territory, is not necessarily correct.
Yeah.
You may want that, but that may not be the right strategic move for you right now, in my opinion.
Okay. What about acquisition? We have a meeting with the Avid Exchange a week ago, and they expressed they would like to acquire us.
If you want to sell, you can sell. There will be acquirers. Given the kind of growth you're showing, there's going to be tremendous interest in acquiring you. Of course there will be. That's up to you. Do you want to get acquired and make a big pot of money? You should be able to get probably $200 million in acquisition price next year. If next year's projection is $20 million, and if you can get 10x on the revenue, you can get acquired for $200 million.
The Stripe did 195x in the beginning. So how do you compare that? Even the Bill.com did 114.
The market will determine that. The market will determine that. Who's your acquirer? What do they see? What strategy are they going to follow? And what kind of multiple? I'm saying that, just as a thumb rule, you can get, if you can hit a 20 million revenue next year, if you can show that you're hitting 20 million next year, I'm pretty sure you can get an acquisition price of at least 200 million. Maybe you can get more. I'm just giving you a thumb rule that you can sell your company next year, or even this year you can sell your company.
Okay.
So what you want is going to determine how you want to move this company forward. Do you want to get a large chunk of money now? And I suspect you own the company 100%, right?
Right.
So then, it's up to you. If you want to make a few $100 million right now, you can make it. If you want to go beyond and build a bigger company, you can do that. It's really entirely up to you.
Okay. So how can you help us, influencing more people to get more institutional customers?
We mentor entrepreneurs. This company, the company that I run, 1Mby1M.com, is an accelerator for companies. So we help coach entrepreneurs, mentor entrepreneurs. That's all we do. And to the extent that people in our portfolio want to be funded and need help with funding, need help with strategy, we do that. So that's what we do.
Okay. So then that's it. So what else anything else from me?
No, that's it. I think we're going to go to the next. I'm trying to remember how you got connected to us. Did you try to pitch us for a story?
Yeah, one of our office manager, pitched the story, and he want to get connected with you.
So if you are looking to be featured on our Entrepreneur Journey series, we will be happy to do that. You have a very interesting story, so we'll be very happy to feature you on our Entrepreneur Journey series. So if you can ask your manager to connect with Sheldon offline, I will advise Sheldon to go ahead and schedule you for an Entrepreneur Journey story.
Okay, that will be great. Then we can be more exposed.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, you've done a great job.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your time.
This happening in a small town in Texas. Wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. We are only a small, tiny town in Texas.
And how many people do you have?
For this company, we have around 35 people working.
So with 35 people, you're doing these kinds of numbers. Fantastic. How many people do you need to get to the 20 million number that you're quoting for next year?
We are expanding to 100 people in the back-end office in India, in Kerala, where I am from. So it will be, we may be having 100 people by next 2 or 3 months.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I will be happy to do your story for Entrepreneur Journeys. Just close the loop with us in the back end, Sheldon and me, and we'll get it scheduled.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Wonderful story.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Pranab, you're next.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for this opportunity that you've given us, and I think I'm quite thrilled to interact with you. And I was referred to by Professor Claudia from INSEAD to take part in this program.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd like to tell you about our company. So we are currently based out of Indonesia, Jakarta, Indonesia, and in Chennai in India. So basically, Konexaa was formed on basis of my experience living in an emerging country for almost 20 years. So healthcare was always a problem that we had faced as a family living in Indonesia. So we would always come back to India to get treated or fly to Singapore or Malaysia to get that done. So we saw a gap there in the healthcare ecosystem that it can be optimized, it can be scaled, and so we tried connecting the gaps between expertise of Indian doctors and the patients who are available in the market in Indonesia. So we started doing a lot of ground research almost 4 years back before we even embarked on this company ourselves. So we found out the biggest problems in the healthcare ecosystem is just not the availability of doctors or availability of care. It's also about the infrastructure provided by the government and institutional infrastructure, which is predominantly not available in emerging countries, right? So the cost of care was highly fragmented, and the availability of care was not available to all the sector of the population, because in a country like Indonesia, where there are 17,000 islands, so connecting each island and patients to different healthcare providers was a big problem. So we pivoted into medical devices and consumables to start off with, and that's where we have started a company on. So we started providing medical equipment and medical device solutions to emerging markets. So on basis of this, we formed a small team based out of India in terms of product development and product sourcing, and in Indonesia we have more of a business team, right? So so our team is a team of veteran doctors, biomedical engineers, and data scientists. So in the initial stages, we started understanding a lot of different data to find these voids and problems patients are facing and healthcare providers are facing. So we started curating solutions and technology which were predominantly made out of India. So these technologies come out from IITs and research institutions of India. So we started curating them and putting them into different baskets and started giving it as a solution to our immediate customers. So we worked on a lot of data to understand what kind of solution needs to be given in each different market. At the same time, we were scaling our suppliers from research institutions and small-scale startups, which had products which were market-ready to be scaled into these markets, into global markets. And there were some problems our customers were facing, which was not readily, the solutions which were not readily available. So we formed a small research and development team in-house in collaboration with few universities in India, which has a robust biomedical curriculum or engineering program. So we have started generating products in-house as well, which we can probably scale in another few years. So currently we're a very early stage startup, and so our immediate customers would be governments, NGOs, and hospitals, and even patients. So our products have been working out across all the scale of healthcare ecosystem. So we cater to the market as well as we aggregate between the market and the suppliers who are available in different places. At the same time, provide solution.
Pranab, let me ask you some questions that will help us get to the heart of the business. Currently, do you have customers?
Yes, we do.
Where is the bulk of the revenue coming from? What kind of customers? Is it hospitals? Is it NGOs? Where is the bulk of the revenue coming from?
So most of our revenue comes in from the NGOs, because the hospitals we cater to are mostly government hospitals. So these government hospitals accept our solutions and they inform the NGOs to provide this for them. So the NGOs fund the transaction.
And this is all in Indonesia?
This is currently happening in, we were supposed to be selling in Indonesia, but what happened due to COVID, we had to come back and our product registration took a longer time and it got extended. So we had to come back due to COVID, and we started providing the same products in India. And that's how we have gained some customers in India as well.
Okay. And what kind of products are you getting traction around?
So we are getting a lot of traction around products which can increase scale. For example, our products have a lot of technology intervention in a mundane medical device, right? So I'll give you an example of an ECG machine. So we have an ECG machine which can be connected onto your mobile platform and can be given to a patient's house. And so that decreases the intervention of a patient going to a hospital. So the same product was used across in COVID centers where doctors could monitor the heart condition of the patients. Like this, we have offered around 20 different product solutions to the COVID care centers alone. And apart from COVID care centers, we have another 50 products which we are just penetrating into the Indonesian market by doing clinical trials and all of that.
And how much revenue are you making right now?
We never thought we would be making any revenue for the next 2 years because we are just getting our products registered in Indonesia. So we are bootstrapping. So far we have done around Indian rupees of around 60 lakh rupees. Okay.
And what is so it sounds like the products have a cost, right? So is 50, 60 lakh rupees including the products, or is it just your revenue?
No, it's including the product, because we could not charge too much because NGOs were also on a tight budget, and plus it's a COVID scenario, so we did not mark up too much on our services.
So what is your margin?
Our margins are on a gross of 20 to 25%, depending on the type of the product. On consumables, we have a margin of around 10%.
And how many people are in the company? Like, what's your burn rate?
So our burn rate is around $3,000 a month, probably around 2 lakh rupees. And our team is very small. We have utilized the gig economy pretty well. So we have 4 main employees in our company, that is including me. But most of the processes we outsource to gig workers and freelancers because we could not hire compliance experts and regulatory experts because they were too much on our pay scale.
So you are covering your costs right now?
We are covering our costs, but in the initial 6 to 7 months of operations, we have burnt money just to understand the market and getting our products registered.
But now you found some set of things that are working that you are able to repeat and get to a profitable business. So you can be sustainable at this point.
Yes, we can be operationally sustainable, but we are just recovering the cost we have burned so far. And
yeah. Okay, so this is going to need some strategic maneuvering to figure out where you want to place your bets and how you sustain the next 18 months while COVID is raging. What is the strategy while COVID is raging, and then what is the strategy after COVID? So you're going to really need to make some strategic bets on the categories and subcategories where you can be most profitable and have the shortest sales cycle and actually get people to pay. So do you have an answer to that question? Where is the maximum revenue benefit?
Yes. So basically our products were curated before COVID came into picture. So all our data was used to curate products which are at least 60% cheaper than what is available in the current market compared to the big companies, right? So our data shows that based on the purchase history of hospitals, especially in Indonesia, our products are at least 50 to 60% more cost effective. And post-COVID, a lot of hospital expenditure is going to go down because a lot of hospitals are running out of capital to buy more goods. So they will prefer our products, compared to what was existingly available before. So they would look for a newer value addition to the product because we give that. Because we give a much cheaper product at a better, as in equal quality with it. And plus, it's extremely tech savvy and it is what healthcare is going into.
But I would also recommend that you go into categories, like specific categories where you can repeat, right? This ECG example that you gave, some makes sense, right? So build a big business with ECG solution.
Yes. So cardiology has given us a lot of traction, and anesthesiology products has also given us a lot of traction. And we do have top 10 products which has given us a lot of traction in the market.
All right. I'm going to have to move on. All of you, if you want more help from 1Mby1M, I will discuss that later on in the program. So just hang on for now. Let me go to Roman, who's now on the call. It seems like WebEx is doing a very poor job of releasing this new version, and it has all kinds of problems. Anyway, Roman, are you ready?
Yes. First of all, Sharmana, thank you very much for having me on, but I really want to thank you for all of the work that you do for the entrepreneurship community. You're a great resource and a mentor, so thank you first.
My pleasure. It's been an honor to work with entrepreneurs for so many years at such scale. So let me introduce you to our audience here. Roman Kikta is our guest today. Normally we would have started with him, but WebEx has created a lot of disruption today. We need to report this to WebEx customer support, technical support. Roman is the managing partner and founder of Mobility Ventures. Roman, welcome to the show. Let's get acquainted.
Well, again, thank you. So let me start off by saying thank you to the entrepreneurs that are listening in today. I really want you to know that I and the venture capital community really appreciates you. The sacrifices that you have made, the dedication, your passion, and perseverance in the pursuit of your dreams of creating startups that are changing our world, thank you. You give us purpose. And I think without entrepreneurs, I would have nothing to do. As simple as that.
So tell us a bit about your background, Roman, and tell us about Mobility Ventures. What are you trying to do? What is the investment thesis?
Sure. So, my own background, I've been in industry for quite a long time. I've gone through various cycles. I've been in wireless, since the 90s. I consider myself to be first and foremost, an anthropologist before I am a technologist. So I really, everything that I do is always grounded in understanding how people live their lives in their environments and the tools that they need for increased productivity or just overall enjoyment. And taking that thesis in mind, we focus at Mobility Ventures on emerging companies, across the wireless and mobile internet ecosystems. We invest in AI, heavily into AI, data sciences, digital media, e-commerce, software solutions, such as location-based services, applications, and so on. Our typical investment in a seed stage is anywhere from $100,000 to up to $4 million over the life of the company. We are a hands-on, value-added investor, and we're looking to work with entrepreneurs to help build enduring, significant companies that are going to dominate their space.
Roman, what is the size of the fund?
Yeah, so we have working capital of up to $200 million, and we are a little bit different from other VC funds in that in our latest fund, we have pulled together all of our own money to fund the working capital for our investments. So that's a little bit different. We had institutional capital in the past, but we found that to be a little bit limiting. We look at opportunities globally. So,
hang on. Let's try to understand what is the differentiation. This is what we do in these interviews is we look at differentiated ideas and, how people are innovating even on the venture capital side. So the $200 million is your personal capital, your and your partner's personal capital?
Right. It is our pooled capital. And what this does not, as you know, a lot of the fund documents sort of limit you to where you can invest by geography. They limit you in the types of investment that you've made because, you've pretty much brought in limited partners who have agreed to participate based on certain criteria.
An investment, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you deviate from that plan, you're basically breaching some of the covenants. So, for example, in the past we were not able to make investments outside of North America, and to us that was quite limiting because, as we all know, that there's great ideas, great innovation, and great entrepreneurs. That are basically creating companies all over the world. So innovation and entrepreneurship are not exclusive to Silicon Valley, as an example. So we are quite open to seeking out these opportunities, whether they're in Israel, whether they're in Europe. I have a couple of great companies, Indoor Atlas out of Helsinki, Finland, which does indoor mapping and navigation using the Earth's magnetic fields. They're giving you...
Where are you located, Roman?
Yes.
Where are you located?
I am based in Dallas, Texas, but we are distributed globally. I have partners in Barcelona, the UK, partners also in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and in Latin America, in Sao Paulo. So
how many partners how many partners are bringing in this $200 million of working capital? It sounds like all of them are actually general partners in your fund.
Well, with our fund structure, we have approximately a dozen, and they're coming in, at different levels. But everything that we invest in, we invest as a team, and
what is the source of the capital? What industry have your partners made money in? Where is it all wireless? Is that why it's Mobility Ventures?
Well, they've actually made money on. We've all made money in wireless, in fiber networks, in the telecom sector, as well as if you go back to the .com era, 20 years ago. So that's where a lot of the capital came from the individuals.
Okay, and is the current investment thesis, does that have anything to do with wireless and mobility? Is that why you named the company Mobility?
It does, because what we see is that mobility really is more about that dynamic lifestyle. And, it's just more than networks and applications. It's, right now, if a company doesn't have a mobile or a mobile strategy, I don't think they have a future.
Okay.
This is about connectivity, being connected, always connected. And whether, we're looking at some great strides that are taking place right now in the healthcare sector, especially now with the pandemic, everything is now being connected online virtually. And we're part of that ecosystem. We believe that innovation and excellence...
Your thesis is mobility and connectedness, but that's the industry focus or the business focus, but you want to be geographically diverse. What about B2B versus B2C? Do you do one or the other or both?
Primarily we focus on B2B companies, but as you know, a lot of the B2B companies also have applicability to B2C. So, our primary focus is on the B2B, but again, they do have crossover. To give you an example, one of the companies that I'm very bullish in, and I'm actually running, is called Photometrics, and we're an AI company that decodes humans, the genetic personality, character traits, behaviors, which we decode strictly from their appearance. So everything about an individual is genetic code. We're serving a variety of industry, everything from online dating to executive search and recruitment, but we're also coming up with a component where we're able to touch the end consumer directly as well.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, so Roman, I'm going to ask you the stage question. As I'm sure you're watching the fragmentation that's happening in the early stage ecosystem, it's no longer just seed and Series A. It's the seed part has really fragmented to friends and family, pre-seed, seed, post-seed, pre-series A, small series A, large series A. In that continuum, where do you play and what do you want to see in the earliest stage that you are willing to come into a deal? What do you want to see by way of proof points?
Well, so, our model, since every member, every partner of Mobility Ventures comes from industry. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all corporate guys. We're all people that understand the marketplace. So we bring a slightly different perspective as a financier, not just from as a source of capital, but really as company builders. By having that insight, we have slightly different perspectives. We know, and we don't get involved in an opportunity unless we know what the end game is. We know the industry, we know the marketplace, we have a global ecosystem that will vet an opportunity globally. It's not just about something that will work in the United States, it's got to work on a global scale. So we focus on things where we understand and where we can add value. And I believe it's really imperative that entrepreneurs today choose their investors wisely. You need more than capital. You really need to have a value-added investor. You do this yourself. You provide tremendous amount of insight and perspective to entrepreneurs, and that's because you understand the challenges that they're faced with. You understand the market. So we do the same thing. We believe that you have to bring additional value than just capital.
Yeah. Well, we stress a lot on, just like entrepreneurs are looking for product market fit, we want them to also find investor entrepreneur fit. In any case, investor entrepreneur fit needs to happen for a deal to happen. And, so that has all these different, the reason I'm asking you all these questions about stage and geography and styles of companies, etc., that all that is relevant to getting to investor entrepreneur fit. And then there is this additional, what we call unfair advantage. If you can, as an entrepreneur, if you can connect with an investor who also has an unfair advantage in the domain that you're working on, that's a multiplier. That doesn't happen always, but it's a multiplier if it happens.
It is. You have a great platform for entrepreneurs. There are great platforms all over the world. I participate and have for several years. In an event called Slush that takes place in Helsinki every November. And this year, unfortunately, it's not taking place because of COVID. But again, it's an event that attracts 20,000 people. You have a couple thousand VCs from all over the world, and you have thousands of startups. From not only from Europe, but from Africa, from Russia, some also from the United States. But there are a lot of events like that become extremely useful to VCs in sourcing, some of these new opportunities, especially disruptive technologies. But it's also a place for collaboration. And I know with your platform, you have a great platform that, promotes that collaboration. And I believe that when you have entrepreneurs that come together, sometimes great things happen.
So, Roman, next question is really around, further double-clicking down on the entrepreneur investor fit question around stage. So to write a $100,000 check, not a $4 million check, to write a $100,000 check, what do you want to see in that company? Do you want a product already built? Do you want customers? Do you want paying customers? What is the minimum that you need to see?
Well, it's a couple of things. It's about the value proposition that's created by the entrepreneur. Have they done their homework? Do they know what that value proposition is? What role will they play in the marketplace? How good are they? How conscientious are they? It's not enough to have a great vision. It's also about execution. So we really look at the individuals. We look at the overall viability of that vision. Obviously, we do a lot of market validation. We know who to call, who to talk to see how this opportunity would be placed in the marketplace. It's all about understanding that ecosystem. When you're investing $100,000, I make those bets to see, can this happen? There's always a risk reward.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. You want to understand the investment thesis of the entrepreneur. You want to understand the ecosystem. You want to understand why this company thinks that it can win based on a certain value proposition and a certain competitive landscape. But you don't necessarily. I'm not hearing you say that you want to see the product ready, and you're not necessarily asking for paying customers. Is that correct?
Well, that's correct, because look, if you're at a seed stage, and I've backed over the years early on with individuals that had nothing but a PowerPoint presentation, just a vision, and we've helped build companies around them. Indoor Atlas is a case in point. Photometrics is a case in point. Indoor Atlas was a tech that came out of the University of Oulu in northern Finland, created by a research professor and his students. We built a company around that, and we've done that many times over. But that's what we do. Other investors have other criteria. They want to see paying customers. They want to see the technology developed where they're not taking a technology development risk. I do not take market risk. I do take a tech development risk. Because we're working with people that are looking to create disruption. And the market has to be there. I'm not looking for someone to create a disruptive technology that's looking for a marketplace. That's a real challenge. So
I kind of agree with you. I think it's solutions looking for problems are much harder to get through to, scale. I think it's much better to start with solving a problem and then, working out how you're going to go to market first before building something. And that's kind of what we practice here in 1Mby1M is you really need to understand what market are you going after and how you're going to position. We focus a lot on positioning.
Yes, absolutely. The biggest challenge...
I sound like you're from Finland originally, yeah?
No, I'm actually American. I've spent 25 years in Finland. I obviously spent a lot of time in Europe, but my own heritage is actually Eastern European. So Ukrainian, Polish, Czechoslovakian, from that part of the world, and that's my heritage. So I speak the languages. I work with the entrepreneurs in the region. There's some brilliant people, as there are all over the world. And what I'm looking for is actually to discover the next big thing. We all strive for that. But I will tell you this. Everybody, as they say, to use that American term, we want to hit a home run, to use a baseball analogy, to get that 10x return or more. But I will tell you, it's also good to get singles and doubles. At the end of the day,
actually a great segue into my next question. You can get 10x returns without chasing unicorns. You can get singles and doubles. There are many ways of playing the venture capital game. how are you playing it? Are you chasing unicorns? Are you, how are you thinking about your fund strategy?
So, obviously everybody wants to chase a unicorn, but what I've learned over the past 20 years of being an investor, it's okay to, double your money and just walk away from a deal. I've done that a number of times where I was a seed investor in a company. And then for whatever reason, the strategy of the company changed, the dynamics changed. You had other investors that came in and started to take the company in a different direction. So in subsequent rounds, I exited. And though I may have made, 1, 2, 3 times my money, I walked away, and sometimes that was the right decision to do. Down the road, that company, for whatever reason, direction and strategy they went, did not work out, or they took on so much capital that the early guys were so diluted because of the liquidation preferences. I was quite fortunate to, get that single or double and call it a day. Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. I agree with you. I think, again, the reason it's been so fascinating to, even in parallel with all our entrepreneur mentoring, we for many, many years now had this also as a forum for seed investors to come and share what they are doing and what they're looking for. And we've created this wonderful mix of, mingling of people and their perspectives and what they're looking for and so forth. And it's helped us learn a lot about how investors are innovating on their side. And this is one thing that is coming up a lot. You can actually, the truth is, the bulk of the exits in our industry, in the technology industry, happens at the sub $50 million range. So if you can build something capital efficient and exit under 50 million, but still make money, that's actually, it falls probably in your, singles and doubles and kind of range of returns, but that's an okay fund strategy as well. Or the other thing that we're hearing a lot these days is, investors who play the early stage and then exit into a Series B or a Series C before huge amounts of funding comes in and drowns them in liquidation preferences and preferences in general. So I think those are all perfectly fine innovations in the venture capital space.
Absolutely. I think you've covered it quite well. The thing is, it's about always moving forward. And, making a little profit is better than losing a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, and if everybody chased unicorns, there aren't enough unicorns to chase. So you're going to have to find your own, positioning in this marketplace to see how you want to play the game. And that's what we are seeing, that people are being a lot more creative than they used to be earlier on in the history of venture capital. Now that the market is so much more crowded, there's so much more money, there's so many more firms that are playing on the investor side as well. They have to differentiate as well.
Yes.
Well, great. Roman, I'm so happy to connect with you, and I hope we will get to do some work together in upcoming months and years, beginning of a great relationship.
No, thank you, Sriman. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. And I've really enjoyed your comments and perspectives that you were giving the entrepreneurs. So thank you. And I want to extend my best wishes for success to all the entrepreneurs out there. And again, thank you very much.
Fabulous. Folks, I'm going to spend just a few minutes giving you an overview of how to use the 1Mby1M program. I know there are people out there who are looking for help. I have a message from Seshu Kanuri, private message. You need help from me. I will explain right now how you can get that help and from 1Mby1M. And all of you who are here, if you're looking for help from us, there's a very a very clean, structured way in which you can engage with the program and get access to its benefits. It's very simple. Everything starts at 1Mby1M.com. You will find a terrific free blog which gives you tons of information, and you get to learn about the perspectives of investors, entrepreneurs, how entrepreneurship case studies, etc. A lot of people these days I meet, people who are coming to pitch me their stories of how they've built their companies. They've been following the blog for 13 years and have now built a $6 million, $10 million, $12 million company, and they have followed the principles that we have put forward, the methodology that we've put forward. We've put a great emphasis on bootstrapping. People are finding resonance in that, and so on and so forth. So it's very, today we are doing 1 million by 1 million for 10 years, and I've been writing the blog for 15 years. So it's been very rewarding to see that people have gained so much from just the work we've done over the last 15 years. So, so you can, just by following the content that we publish, you can learn a lot. You can also go to the book series. Entrepreneur Journeys is our case study-based book series covering different topics. There are 12 volumes. You'll find all of them on Amazon. They're all available digitally, actually. These roundtables, these free roundtables, will be available every week on an ongoing basis. Over 150,000 people have attended. This is the 502nd roundtable. The full acceleration program from our platform is 1M by1M Premium. So if you're looking for regular weekly guidance and access to all the pieces of the acceleration program, please join 1M by1M Premium. Go to the website and sign up. You get extensive methodology guidance. You get access to our digital curriculum. We help you with business development. We have a terrific Rolodex, one of the most powerful Rolodexes in the world in the technology industry. And you get access to that by joining 1 million by 1 million Premium. And you get this kind of strategy consulting on a weekly basis in our private roundtables. They happen exactly like this in WebEx calls, except they're members only. Now, if you're looking for financing, absolutely, we will help you with financing as well. We have a great network of hundreds of investors who work with us. You just listened to Roman talking to me about what he is doing. There are hundreds of investors who work with us, and as I said in the conversation just now, investor-entrepreneur fit is how deals happen. So you're going to have to find investor-entrepreneur fit. And then we have media relations. We have a lot of clout in the media. We can help you get the word out there about what you're doing. Go to the self-assessment on our website, and you will find a series of questions. These questions are questions that investors ask you. I want you to ask these questions yourselves before you go in front of investors and try to answer them. If you get stuck, if you don't understand something, if you're unable to answer questions, go study the curriculum. For $99 a month, you can access our curriculum and really get on top of the methodology. If you study the curriculum, if you put in 50 hours in 1 month, you're already way ahead in terms of methodology. So go through the website. We have described everything in great detail: premium program, basic program, messages, the FAQs, video FAQs, description of the curriculum. The curriculum is case study based. There are thousands of successful entrepreneur case studies. You get to learn how bootstrapped entrepreneurs have done it, how venture funded entrepreneurs have done it, how unicorn entrepreneurs have done it, and you get the synthesis of methodology in video lectures and video interviews. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. The philosophy is bootstrap first, raise money later. That's it. We have free roundtables all of October, 5 more. We have rendezvous, online rendezvous on LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, and Twitter Live, Twitter Television, on another 5 coming up through September, 1 more in September and 4 more in October. By all means, come to all of these, any of these that you feel fits in your schedule. And we also have all kinds of additional opportunities to listen to recordings. The YouTube channel has recordings of everything we do. So you'll find all of that there. If you have any questions, we're kind of out of time today. We have covered a lot. We've covered 3 pitches plus an investor discussion. So we are already at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. But if you have any questions, I'll try to very quickly answer. Let me introduce you to Irina Patterson. Seshu, for example, your contact to ask questions about 1Mby1M is Irina Patterson. Please email Irina at 1Mby1M.com and she'll help you get situated. Let me just quickly check the question panel here. Seshu, I already told you that you need to get in touch with Irina. Nitin is commenting to Roman. We are actually quite comfortable with WebEx, and we're staying with WebEx. We're not changing platforms right now, Seshu. Thank you for your input, but we are staying with WebEx. WebEx has had a problem with this current release, but I'm sure they'll fix it. We're comfortable with WebEx. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? We'll get going quickly. Pranab, if you have any questions, you're done, yes. We're about to wrap up the session, actually, but if you have any quick question further, you're welcome to ask. You would like to raise capital. Pranab, you're not ready to raise capital right now. So this is where you're going to need to do some methodology learning, and I'll be happy to advise you on your business and capital raising and all of that. But for that, you're going to need to be part of the 1M by1M premium program, and I'll be happy to help you. So any of you, if you've pitched at this roundtable and you need help further from us, you're going to need to you're going to need to join the premium program. There's no point, you're asking for my emails privately. There's no point getting my email. I'm not going to dialogue with you and advise you on email. You're going to need to join the premium program, and that's how I work with entrepreneurs. Beyond these free roundtables, if you want to work with me, you're going to have to join the premium program. All right, folks, that's it for today. And Irina will be a very good person for you to ask questions about joining the program if you have questions. Take care, everybody. Be safe. There's still a lot of pandemic-related risk and danger out there, so keep yourselves and your families and your colleagues safe. And I will see you next week. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.